Alright guys, this is a video that's been in the making for a while. So as you can see, I have a different toolbox here and I need to do some updating as far as my toolbox story or journey. Alright, so about a year ago, I think it's been that long, I went out and bought an Icon 72-inch bottom toolbox. And when I first decided to buy it, I did my research, I watched my YouTube videos, and from what it looked like, and from what I was able to put my hands on at the Harbor Freight store, it looked like a really good box, right? Especially for the price. So I went ahead and got it, and I loaded it up with tools, and then the little things started to pop up that were not quite good. Now, was it a deal breaker? Maybe to some people, maybe not, but there were too many things that were showing itself on that Icon box where I was just within days of the 90-day where you could return it, and so I made the decision to return that box and get a full refund. Alright, so what were the things about it that made me decide to return it? So let's just start talking, or I'll try to show as best I can from this box the things that I just couldn't put up with on that Icon box. Alright, so on the Icon box, it has these on the side here. It has like detents that you can adjust to make it easier or harder to pull out. And I don't know, I've heard that other boxes have that on there as well, but the more I dealt with it, the more irritating it got, because it was either whether you had to pull it, to kind of get it out, or it was just it's just coming out really easy, and it was just It turned out to be like I wasn't a big fan of that style of drawer. Okay, but that's not the worst of it. So one thing I started to notice is whenever I would close the drawer, I would hear a bang and a rattle. And what was happening was when the drawer would close or reach its closed position, then the bars, the locking bars in the back of the box were getting hit by the back side of that drawer, and it would rattle, and it was one of those things where you just didn't want to go up to a drawer and close it like that because you hear that bang and that rattling noise. And I went ahead and pulled some drawers out, and sure enough, there were some good scuff marks on the locking bar and the drawer itself, to where they were colliding with each other. Okay, so I'm like, all right. I went ahead and found some small pieces of rubber, and I shimmed it up there to try to give it just a little bit of space of isolating it, and it seemed to help a little bit. But at that point, then my locks became non-functioning because of that rubber that I had in there to prevent that banging and that collision with the drawer and the lock bar. Okay, so there's another thing. All right, so and then the last thing that made me decide, all right, I've seen enough, was on their drawers, when you would pull them out, as they would reach the end of their travel, they would dip down slightly, and there was a little bit of a click noise. Okay, I've never seen that on a box before. And after doing some investigating, I noticed that the slides that are the part of the slide that's installed in the box, or that stays in the box, the area that they punched out for the slides to fit in, it was off by just a hair. Now these openings that they punch out, they have a taper to them, and that tapers to where you can push a part of that tab all the way back in and then pop in the other two up front. And it was off by probably 16th or maybe a 30 seconds. Not much, but it was, what was happening was as you pull the drawer out and the weight of that drawer came out, then that little bit of play in the back on that slide would make that that slide tip up, and then that was the clicking noise that I was hearing. So you had slides that were moving, you know, not by much, but it was enough to where every time you would pull it out, you know, the drawer would dip just a little bit and you hear that click noise, and it was just weird. It wasn't very reassuring as far as when you have a box or a drawer full of tools, and that was going on. And it wasn't something that showed up right away. It took a couple months with tools in the drawer for that to start to happen. So at that point, I was just within the 90 days. I'm like, all right, I've seen enough. So I returned it and got a refund. All right, and then as you've probably seen, I made a video of the Husky Professional Duty toolbox. I'm like, you know what? For the price, that looks good. I mean, I wasn't able to put my hands on it to see how it was made, but okay, I'll go ahead and buy it and see what happens. Well, as you can see from that video, I was not impressed at all. It looks nice, but the lack of support on their long drawers was a stinking joke. I mean, it had the same amount of support as what like a $500 toolbox would have. It was an absolute joke. And all I could see is when you load certain drawers down, you know, with almost no support, you're guaranteed sagging. And that was one thing I did not want. All right, so I'll admit it. I love Snap-on toolboxes. I've seen them. I put my hands on them. I like their variety of the drawer configurations, but I just cannot spend that kind of money on a box that just holds tools, especially for something at home here. I mean, that kind of money you spend on like a nice mill or a lathe, right? But not just a box that holds tools. There are certain cases where if I worked in the auto mechanic field, okay, yeah, maybe, but I don't, and it's just for home, so I could not spend that much. So I went ahead and did more research, and this is what I chose. It's a good mixture of price, functionality, built good enough. Well, and as I always say, time will tell on that too. But from what I can see, and from what I've experienced so far, I plan on having this box for a long time, hopefully. So far, it's been good. It's worked just the way I wanted it to. There's nothing that irritates me about it. And it's got plenty of storage here. Okay, so now I'm not going to go into a toolbox tour review, if I can say that right. But I just wanted to give a first look to this new toolbox that I have, and yeah. So, and I'll point out some of the things that I really like about it so far. So one of the things that I like is this, I guess you call it a powder coat finish. Now most boxes out there, they like to put a nice shiny coat on it, and if you just look at it the wrong way, it gets scratched or whatever, or it mars up and whatever. This, nothing. You can, I mean, even if you run into it or you scratch or whatever. Now, if you really wanted to, I'm sure you could take a tool and really mar it up if you wanted to. But on your average, just every day you pass by, you bump it or you knock it, it's got a really good durable finish. And I also like how these corners are rounded too. But yeah. Okay, and then the handles here. Now, I will admit, I really like the Extreme Tools lift and latch, or I'm not sure what how they name theirs, but they have a more of a beefier setup like this. This is your poor man's version of that system. But either way, it's something to wear. Close it, good. Pick it up, or pull up this anodized aluminum handle, and it releases, and then you can pull it out. So that I'm liking so far. Oh, and there's no banging, right? When you go to close it, oh boy. Oh. Anyway, okay, so there's that. I really like the handle. I like the way the drawers work. Now, as you can see, there's only one long, deep drawer on here. Now, but I will show you this. Okay, now you see all those supports down there. That's, and by the way, that's something that seems to be really overlooked in a lot of toolbox tour reviews. But as you can see, what we got, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Okay, so I feel really good about loading this down. Now I will say too that this box is 72 by 24, and each slide is rated for 150 pounds. As you can see, this big top drawer has double slides. Closes good and solid. Bottom drawer, yep, that's got 2. I think, yep, we got 2 there as well. I think you can add more, or you can add another one here if you really want to. I think I haven't really looked into it too much. But, and then the other bottom one, yep, that's 2 as well. So, then in the top, as you can see, it's pretty much the same thing as the bottom as far as how it works. And I will say, I will admit, this blue anodized aluminum handles here, they really pop. You know, it's something that you have to see in person to appreciate. But I'm liking it. So you know what? I didn't even pull those stickers off yet. Just a little bit of advertising, right? But and then it's got the 3 sets, or the 6 casters, swivel on either end, fixed in the middle. But as you can see, I got it shimmed up. That's how much of a slope there was from the back of the box to the front of the box. So either way, it's level. It's set. It's good to go. So, all right. With that, I'm gonna leave it there. I will be doing a toolbox tour review soon enough. But I just wanted to update everybody on my toolbox situation and how I came to this box. And from what I am experiencing so far, I think this is the box that's going to be sitting here for a long time. So, alright, with that, let me know what you guys think. If there's anything I missed, just leave it in the comments below. I'll try to address it. But either way, like my videos, subscribe to my channel. I'll catch you guys later.